I was just talking about Undertaker, how he would have that gunslinger walk. There's a thing in the business that we call the grizzled vet walk. And I don't care who you are, if you got enough time in the business, eventually you get the grizzled vet walk. And I'll never forget, I was in Los Angeles with a guy we used to be really good friends, and we were together at the beginning. And I got out of the car. We were going somewhere to eat, and I get out of the car, and I closed the door, and I took my first few steps, and it's just that almost like the evolution of man.
Oh,
And I'm walking. He goes, "Oh, you got it! You got the
you got
grizzled vet
it.
walk! You got the grizzled vet walk!"
How old were you at this time, man?
Oh man, at that point I was late 30s, maybe.
Okay.
Late 30s, possibly. Was I 40 yet? Yeah, I don't think I was 40 yet.
Okay.
I think it was like late 30s, maybe 40. By 40 for sure, I had grizzled that walk. So yeah, that cumulative damage is real, and professional wrestling takes a toll on your body, and there's just no denying it. So, when people come up and say, "Hey, thank you for what you put your body through for my entertainment," I always say, "Thank you for watching." When you come up and you express the joy and pleasure that I was able to give you. When I have guys come up, "Oh man, you were my childhood, man." I watched, in a weird, twisted way, it makes the bumps and bruises worthwhile, But that's the price you pay.
The millions of dollars, though.
Well, that.
Don't forget that.
But let's keep it real, though. Everybody don't make millions of
That's
dollars.
a fact. That is a fact. Yeah.
I have been very fortunate that I've had a career that's over 2 decades now, and that over the span of my career, I have made millions of dollars, but most don't. And you got lots of people been doing this for 20 years for the love of the game.
Right on.
You got guys been on the indies their entire career that never got a chance to make it to the big time, or maybe they got to do a short stint here, or got some time overseas and whatnot, and were able to make a living, but never got rich.
Right.
They were able to pay some bills for a while and live as a professional wrestler, but then there came a time when the bookings dried up, or just physically they couldn't do it anymore, and they got a job selling cars or insurance, or they had to transition to another profession because they didn't get rich, they didn't make that money. So it's for the love of the game ultimately. And
for the love, is it why you go to do it on the indies today? Because you don't have to.
No, well, I'm not gonna lie. It's a combination of the two, because my booking fee's kind of high. If you pay me, I'll come. If you pay me, I'll come. If you book him, he will come. I don't do it for free, but like my home promotion of CCW. Man, just give me whatever, man. Because those guys raised me up. There's a love affair there. But generally speaking, in the beginning, it cost me money to wrestle. I joke about it now, but at the time, there was a time on the Florida Indies when, I don't say this proudly, but I sold weed and steroids to support my wrestling habit. Guys would get in one line to get the pay from the booker, and then I'd have another line over here where guys were getting their weed.
Right.
Because I used to have that gas, baby.
This is a long time ago.
long time ago, baby, since Wappy Ken Phillips.
Yeah. Statue of whatever.
The statute of limitations.
Yeah, it is out the door.
Different time, different place. Yeah. But I mean, for what I was getting paid for a match and what it cost me in gas to drive, and crashing 6 deep at a Motel 8, or sleeping in my car at the what do you call it, the rest stop and whatnot. It's a rough game trying to get there. But fortunately, I was one of the ones that was able to make a career out of it, and I'm very grateful that at this stage of the game, I'm still here. So, but yeah, I'm beat up, But I say this: Father Time is undefeated, and we all got to go at some point. But I'm going kicking and screaming. I'm not going easily, you know. So I'm still in the gym, and my biggest issue is that I go in and out of shape. My pendulum swings. If I got like a jiu-jitsu match coming up, or if I got some big matches coming up, I'll clean up my diet. I'll train hard. I'll get in really good shape.
And that's a reality for 2025.
Yeah,
You've got some business coming.
I got some business coming up. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, I'm back on the competitive jiu-jitsu mats, and I haven't retired from pro wrestling yet. I haven't had my last match yet, and I still do some indies, and I'll still do some more in-ring wrestling at AEW before it's done.